Quick story before we get going with your Sunday video report. So, back in the early 90s, I had my own nationwide radio show called the Friday Night Quarterback. I developed the show, I syndicated the show, I hosted the show, I did everything with that show, okay? And I parlayed my success because I was in 28 of the top 40 radio markets at the time into my own football tip sheet. Now, if you have ever gotten my analysis or seen the analysis, you know it's not like I say, oh, I like team A over team B because they're wearing socks today. I go in depth. Can you imagine what my tip sheet was like back in those days? Because I did it all. I was the researcher, I was the writer, I handicapped every single game, wrote previews for every single college and pro football game every single weekend. I laid it out on the Mac. I was the guy that drove it to the printer on Monday morning, worked my real job the rest of Monday, and then picked it up from the printer. Literally had my wife and I there sealing envelopes, putting stamps on, and only once in 5 years did I get a speeding ticket running to the Atlanta airport to get him out in time. But the sidebar to this story is in that course of time, I had a woman contact me from Honolulu. Her name was Jane, and her husband, who was much older, was a retired dentist. And this particular woman called me because she used to talk to me on the radio show and she used to get my tip sheet as well. And she called me one day asking if I would give her some personal advice because she had blown through over $100,000 of her husband's retirement fund and 401k reserves, etc. And she was desperate to win. Now, to be honest with you, the first thing I asked was, well, why do you want to keep gambling? But she was going to do it anyway. And I told her I didn't want any money. That, basically the plays that I have in the tip sheet, as the week went on, I then had a phone service, which was a recorded message. And I would tell people, hey, this is what I wrote on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning. Now I want you to focus in because I re-rated the games. And I gave them on a recorded message what the final best bets of the weekend were. So what she wanted to do was simply have me narrow down the card even further and help her in terms of finding the winners. First 3 weeks for one-on-one, I won the big plays in college and pro football. In fact, the first 4 weeks, I went 7-1. Week number 5, now she's slowly starting to win money back. She then starts hitting me every time we talk. I tell her, well, this is my best bet among all the games. This is the best bet. And she says, well, do you have another? Because I'd like to play a parlay. Or it was, well, I'd like to play a couple of other games. Do you have something late on the card? And that is the biggest problem with all gamblers. No one's ever happy with just one win. And that was a situation I almost had to face myself yesterday because greed is a terrible thing in this thing that we do. I handicap the Saturday college card. What I do is I narrow it down to my focus from, 80 some games. And yesterday I had 7 games that I really liked. And that starts me on my journey because over the next couple of hours, and I am reading here on the internet everything I can about these teams. I'm looking at what the beat writers have said. I'm looking at how they did in the first go round of the season if they had played previously. I'm also looking at the results of the 3 or 4 games coming into yesterday's action for the respective teams I'm handicapping because I want to see if there's any momentum, positive or perhaps negative momentum as well coming into the game. So I'm factoring in all these things. And inevitably what happens, 3-4 hours go by and then I check the latest odds again and I'll find that there's a half point, a 1 point movement here or there. And then it comes time to find the big play. Well, I'm looking for a 5th straight winning week, and I lost the 2 previous nights, okay? So I've got Saturday, Sunday, and Monday to get that money back. And hey, I may or I may not. It doesn't erase the fact that I won the 4 previous weeks, but hey, I'd like to win a 5th straight week. That greed is okay, but it's how you go about accomplishing it. So finally, I narrowed down the card to 4 games yesterday. And the game that I decided to go on, I turned once more to the conference that has been the most profitable for me the entire season, and that is the Horizon League. And I hit Cleveland State hard. I make it another 15-dime play, which, as you know, 99% of my plays are rated between 5 and 15 dimes, so this is right up there. And Cleveland State does just what I thought so. They took care of business at home against Wright State. They won it by 16. They were laying 9.5 points, and it was easy. Now, here's my dilemma. So yesterday, while you guys are all sleeping, I'm sitting there going, God, I want one more play. Because on Saturdays, I've been really hot with 2 plays, okay? And I'm looking at the college card, and the problem is often when you find games, and I narrowed down the card to 4 games. You find games, it's like asking somebody, well, which one of your 4 children do you love the most? So I had already found that one that I loved the most, and that was Cleveland State. But I was looking for a smaller play. I wanted a little smaller wager because, again, I had 4 weeks of earnings, in my pocket, right? And I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll have like a little 5 dime play, which I'd won 4 in a row. And I was looking for number 5 in a row. And one of the plays I considered, West Virginia. I gave it to you as a free pick. They get destroyed by Baylor and Morgantown. And the other option, I was thinking of going with Tulsa. They lose outright, watch their 12-game winning streak go down the flames to SMU. Thankfully, I was able to stop myself. And that's what made me think of Jane yesterday in the wee hours of the morning, thinking about all the times she said to me, I could use just one more game. Do you have one more play? Sometimes it's okay, but you can't force the action. And it's hard for us as gamblers. Believe me, it's twice as hard for me as a handicapper and a gambler to stop myself sometimes. So, on those rare occasions you see me with 2 plays, I really, really love those 2 games. Even though one might be a 15-dime play and one might be a 5-dime release, I love those games because, again, they're few and far between. But again, that little voice is always just whispering in my ear and reminding me what Jane was like. Now, listen, FYI today, where do I go again? I'm looking at the board. I'm looking at Indiana, Michigan. I'm looking at the game between Stanford and Southern Cal, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. And there it is, Oakland and Valpo, Horizon League. You bet your bottom dollar that's going to be my best bet again today. Hi, guys. Al DeMarco here. If you haven't figured that out by now, I don't know why. With your Sunday video report, I'll get to your free selection in just a moment. Let's talk about matter of fact, let me call this up here on the site, a red-hot handicapper, and that, of course, would be Anthony Red. Did it again yesterday. And did I pick the perfect day to put him on as one of the half-price play of the day releases? Is yesterday his college dog of the year, Louisville, plus the 7.5 points, got the easy cover at Virginia, and it was his 100-dime college basketball winner, number 9 out of 10 over the past 2 years. Well, today he's going for winning day number 17 out of 21. Over the past 20 days alone, $10 bettors have won over $6,800. And it's his biggest play of the season in the NBA. 100-dime basketball winner number 13 out of 17 overall. That's college and pros combined. His NBA dog of the year, just as strong as last night's college dog of the year winner on Louisville. Twice as strong as his 50-dime interconference total of the year on the Heat Spurs under, which you got also at discount, $7.77 on Friday night. And again today, I'm making him the half-price play of the day, just like I said yesterday. And as I said repeatedly in the last 20 years, you don't have to spend big money to make big money, and that's why I have no qualms with giving you the biggest play of the hottest handicappers just about day in, day out here at the site at huge discounts. If you don't take advantage of it, what can I tell you? Anyway, half-price play of the day today, Anthony Red. Coupon code is his last name. That is REDD, REDD. FYI, $10 bettors are up in basketball, college and pro combined over the past 3 years, $14,520. The other major wager today, you can save $70. Brad Wilton, 100-dime college basketball winner, number 9 out of 12. His Pac-12 game of the year, USC and Stanford. He had a couple of 100-dime releases in the week about a week and a half ago, going into last Sunday's Super Bowl. Won them both. One was Notre Dame over Duke. The other one was UCLA, a 6-point underdog, winning outright at home against Utah by 10 points. And you got both of them for half price. Well, today I'll do you one better. You can get today's play for $29. You save $70 in the process by using coupon code Wilton, his last name WILTON. I tell you the good, I got to tell you the bad. Now, how bad is it when I'm going to tell you that Gabriel DuPont could not deliver with a 5th straight half-price major wager release yesterday? 150-dime winner number 3 in a row failed with Butler failing to get the cover. But he won the first 250-dime plays. He's won 15 out of 17 100-dime plays, 2 of which you got as half price yesterday or this past week as well. Jeez, even he loses occasionally. And you can look at the numbers and you can see how much cash he's won. But unfortunately, damn it, we're going to have to fire his ass because, he just really let us all down yesterday. Let's talk about your free pick. Free pick. Let's talk about the free pick, and we'll take the L out of that word. I got to go with Stanford. I know it's a huge number, minus 14 points at home against USC, but just doesn't it seem like the line makers are just begging you, trying to beg you to take Southern Cal, even though you know Southern Cal sucks. Okay, this could be a trap line, and that's my logic here looking at this game. I know the Cardinal are coming off a 69-67 loss to UCLA. I know the Cardinal won at USC 78-76 in overtime when they met the first time, January 11th. And I know the Trojans are coming off a 70-69 loss at California. So, for surface value, it just would seem, oh my God, I got to grab the points. But now I'm looking at Stanford, and then I'm looking at USC, and I mean, you can't hide the fact the Trojans do suck. I mean, they've lost 7 in a row and 9 out of 10 in conference play, and Jesus, I just have no faith in this team. I'd rather go with Stanford to rebound playing at home here in this particular spot, laying the 14 points. FYI, I mentioned something about Indiana and Michigan. Listen, let me just give you what I have on this game because I handicapped it, but I can't even come up with a free play in here because I thought Indiana was the way to go until the more I thought about Indiana and the Hoosiers playing no defense. They have no interior defense. So I thought maybe the way to go is with Michigan. But Michigan's without 2 of its top 3 scorers still coming into this game. And yet, this is a Michigan team that extended Michigan State on the road in overtime before eventually losing by 10 points. But then they lost at home to Iowa by 18. So I just don't know which way to go. I probably lean toward the Hoosiers, even though they just got destroyed by Wisconsin. And FYI, even though the final score said they only lost 92-78, understand it was much more of a big blowout than that. They were down by 32 points in one stage. They've lost 3 of their last 4. Tom Crean is coming under a lot of criticism in Bloomington because of his substitution patterns, which often just don't make any sense. This is an offense-only team that plays no defense, has no interior defender at all to stop you from driving to the hoop. But Indiana has won 4 of the last 6 meetings. Indiana has lost just once to the Wolverines at Assembly Hall since 2000. So I do lean toward Indiana. But let me tell you, just like yesterday, it's another lousy card, and that's why I'm going to the Horizon League. It's the one play I care about, and I hope it cashes in today. Good luck, everybody. I'll catch you again on Monday when we do this one more time as the college basketball season rolls on.